Hello, this is Dr. Christy Patton Lukes, and I am going to just do you a quick video showing you how to use matrix techniques within Excel to solve systems of linear algebraic equations. So I just set up a little set of equations here. So here I have 4 equations and 4 unknowns. And what we want to do is we want to write them in a matrix format. And the matrix format is AX equals B. A is going to be the matrix of all of the coefficients of our variables. X is a listing of the variables, and B is the right-hand sides for these equations. So I've set these up. And so these are my matrices. So A, my coefficients are 2, 1, 1, and 1 for my W's. -4, 3, 1, and there isn't an X down here. 3, -1, 1, and 3. 1, 4, 1, and -2. So these are my coefficients. So these form my A matrix, and it's a square matrix. It's 4 across and 4 down. X is my listing of my variables in order, W, X, Y, and Z. And this has to correspond to my columns here. So this column would be all my W coefficients, all my X coefficients, my Y coefficients, and my Z coefficients. And then these over here are the right-hand sides that go with each one of these rows of coefficients that relate to an equation. So the 2, -4, 3, and 1 went with the right-hand side 6, and so forth down the list. And the idea is that we're wanting to find X by doing the matrix equivalent of dividing by A, which means we're going to multiply by the inverse matrix, A inverse of B. So let me... Okay, so that's going to be what we're trying to find. So I need to first find the inverse of A and then multiply that by B. As we do these next steps, what's going to really matter is that we're going to be using matrix algebra, which is a little bit different than standard algebra. And so when we tell Excel that we want to do these calculations, we're going to need to, instead of hitting enter at the end of our command, we're going to hit control plus shift plus enter all at the same time. And that's going to signal to Excel that we are doing matrix calculations. So I'm going to do these in several different steps. So first I'm going to find the A inverse. Okay, now this is the matrix inverse. And the way we tell Excel that we want to do that is going to use the function minverse. Okay, so matrix inverse. And you start by highlighting a set of cells that are just the size that you want the answer to be. Now this was originally 4 by 4, so I want to highlight a 4 by 4 group to get started. And then with that highlighted, I'm going to begin typing my command, matrix inverse. Okay, and I want to take the inverse of these variables up here. So to get that, I now, instead of hitting enter, hit control shift enter. And we see that these are the values of this inverse matrix. Now if I wanted to know what these various variables are equal to, what I want to do is take these inverse matrix and multiply it by the B. But again, it's matrix multiplication. So I want the answers to fall into this set of cells here. So I'm going to highlight the set I want to fill until it's matrix multiply. So I'm going to matrix multiply, and I want to do this one first. Order really matters here. And then this one. So it's A inverse goes first, the square one goes first, and then the column goes second. So if I do that, again, don't hit enter, hit Control-Shift-Enter. And we see that W is negative 313, X is 12, Y is 187, and Z is 119. So pretty easy to do. I will tell you, you can come in here, and if I wanted to change things like make that answer a 5, it'll auto-calculate as I make changes, okay, once I've got this set up right. Really, the key is Control-Shift-Enter. Now, you can do this more concisely by using matrix multiply of the inverse, and I'll just highlight the A cells, and then the B cells. And this also will get it in one step. So if I wanted to do this, just to show you, I want to have all my answers in a column. I'm going to say it's equal to the matrix multiplication of the inverse of A, close the parenthesis, comma, multiply that inverse with this, Control-Shift-Enter. And it gets the same answer in one step. One final thing is we've talked about that A times A inverse should get you the identity matrix, which is the equivalent of saying 1 in matrix talk. That means that the diagonals will be 1 and everything that's off diagonal will be 0. And I just want to show you that. So if I look at the product of A times A inverse, or A inverse times A, either way, and let me fix those so that they're superscripted so that you can read this. Okay, if we were to do that, then I expect still my answer to be a 4 by 4. So I highlight 4 by 4, which I didn't do. Okay, 4 by 4. There we go. Got it this time. And I want to multiply these two matrices together, A and A inverse. And it should work no matter which order I put these in. And Control-Shift-Enter. And we get this. Now, it may not look to you like that's all 1s across the diagonal and 0s everywhere else. But 1 times 10 to the minus 14th, or even 7 times 10 to the minus 15th, pretty darn close to 0. So you're going to have a little round-off error perhaps, but this is indeed the identity matrix. So this concludes this little video lesson. I hope this helps. Thank you.